Hi everybody, as you can tell by the title of my video, today I wanted to talk about binkies or pacifiers. And I know this can be a pretty controversial subject. I know some people are so passionate about whether they use it or they don't use it. And I'm kind of like in the middle. I tried using it with my first and he hated it. He never used it. I'm open to it if it works, but it hasn't worked for me. So this is all just not my opinion. I have done research on the pros and cons of the binky. So definitely comment down below and let me know your experience, what you think is a pro or what you think is a con. I just want to get this dialogue started because I think this is such an interesting topic. And I think it's interesting that so many parents have such a different way of handling it. So let me start off with the pros of using a binky. The greatest thing about a binky or a pacifier is that it soothes a fussy baby. That is something that I wish worked with Will. I tried giving to him and he would just spit it out, spit it out, spit it out. I could tell that he wanted like a breast or like milk. He did not want something that was like artificial, so it's kind of funny. Another great thing about a pacifier is that a pacifier can distract them. So if you're giving them shots or if you're going on a plane and the air pressure changes, you can distract them by having them suck on the binky. So that's a great pro as well. A binky is also great because it can soothe your baby so that your baby can fall asleep. That is such a great quality, I feel like, with the binky, because they can calm themselves, they relax, and they fall asleep without having to be in like drinking a bottle or nursing, that sort of thing. Another interesting fact that I found when I was doing my research is that pacifiers help reduce the risk of SIDS, so sudden infant death syndrome. Okay, so those are some of the pros. If you have other pros, comment down below and let me know. I want to hear everything that you guys know about that with your experience because I haven't had experience with it. So now the cons with using a pacifier. And the first con is that it's hard when you're trying to teach your child how to breastfeed because they can have nipple confusion because there's so many different things going in their mouth. And just so you know, I'm getting all of this from the Mayo Clinic website. So I'm not just making this up. This is what the Mayo Clinic says. And in relation to that with how it might interfere with breastfeeding, it says that research suggests that early use of artificial nipples is associated with decreased exclusive breastfeeding and duration of breastfeeding. Although it's not clear if artificial nipples cause breastfeeding problems or serve as a solution to an existing problem. So I thought that was kind of interesting because with my first, I did exclusively breastfeed. He wouldn't even take a bottle, and he never took a binky, like I said, and we nursed all the way up until he was a year old. So I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but apparently maybe it does, who knows. But I just thought that was interesting. Okay, the second con is that your baby might become dependent on the binky. So if they're sleeping in the middle of the night and they spit it out and they can't find it, they might get fussy. So that's kind of hard too if they become dependent on it. Okay, another con is that sucking on a binky might actually cause ear infections, I guess. This is what the Mayo Clinic says, or increase the risk of ear infections. It says that rates of middle ear infections are generally lowest from birth to 6 months, but when the risk of SIDS is the highest and your baby might be interested in a pacifier. So that's interesting. Also, the next con is that if your child uses the binky too long, it might lead to dental problems because it might, let's see. And this is something that my dad, who is a dentist, has said that he has seen, that when a child uses it way beyond the first couple of years of life, because it's different. It says here, like if it's fine the first few years of life, but then if they're continually using it and their front teeth are growing in, their teeth might grow in slanted because they're so used to, or they're just sucking on it all the time. But yeah, so that's what that says. Okay, so those are the pros and the cons, whether to binky or to not binky. So let me, like I said below, let me know down below what you think, or pros and cons. I also wanted to end with this article that I found from the Mayo Clinic. Says if you are going to use the binky, here are some tips. So the first tip says that you need to wait until breastfeeding is established before you start trying to use the binky because of nipple confusion. So it says that it's fine if you want to use the binky, but don't try to like do it back and forth because I guess it makes it a lot harder for your child to get used to what to suck on. The American Pediatrics Association recommends not giving your child a Binky until they're 4 to 6 weeks old, so I thought that was interesting. The next thing is, if you are going to use a Binky, this article says that don't use it as your first line of defense. So if your child is fussy, don't just stick the Binky in their mouth. Maybe they have a dirty diaper, maybe they are hungry, or maybe they just need to have a change of position, that sort of thing. It also says choose the silicone, one-piece dishwasher safe variety. I guess there's some that have like 2 pieces, and that's like a choking hazard. So make sure that you can have the kind that's not a choking hazard. You can just pop it in the dishwasher to make sure that it's clean. The next tip is let your baby set their own pace. And it says that if your baby's not interested, don't force your baby to use the pacifier, but if they are, let them use it, but don't always shove it in their mouth kind of thing. Obviously my kids were not interested. I tried, but then I just gave up because they were not interested at all. Okay, the next thing is to keep it clean. So run it through your dishwasher, make sure to wash it with soap and warm water, rinse it. One of the things that it says is that parents do all the time is to put it in their mouth to clean it if it falls on the ground. And they said that is even worse than having it fall on the ground because you have so many germs inside of your mouth and you're just passing it on to your baby. So make sure that you clean it. The next thing this article says is that you should not sugarcoat it, so don't put anything sweet on it. The last thing to do is just to keep it safe. So make sure that it's attached, that it's the right size for your child. And it also says that a lot of people use like the clip where they clip onto the baby's shirt and that sort of thing, and that's fine, but make sure that it's not long enough that it can wrap around their neck. Okay, so that is my video on whether to Binky or not to Binky. Hope you guys found that helpful. If you're kind of thinking about what to do, I thought that that was kind of interesting because I thought about that same thing before I had both my kids, whether or not I wanted to use a Binky. So definitely comment below. Please, moms, I know there are so many of you out there who have had so many different experiences, and I know that there are moms who read these comments and really learn a lot. I know I learn a lot, and I have had countless emails and messages from moms saying, wow, I learned so much from this video because this mom said this and that sort of thing. So if you want to help a mom, comment down below, let them know what you have experienced, whether it's good or bad, because it helps everybody make an informed decision whether or not they want to use it, because it's such a personal decision as a parent on what you want to do. So thank you so much for watching, everybody. I hope you have a fabulous day. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel, to my Facebook page, my Instagram, Twitter, everything's down below because I am trying to, use all of that so you guys can keep in contact with me on a daily basis. So love you all so very much, and we will talk to you all later. Bye.